What is up, everybody? This is Mr. Howard, and we are back. Today, we're going to be talking about E3 2016. I have some UFC 2 gameplay here in the background, just for something to watch while we talk about it. The first day of E3 was Sunday the 12th, and that featured the EA conference as well as the Bethesda Studios conference. So we will be talking about both of those today, and I will be making sure to link everything we talk about in the description below as well. So starting off with EA, they talked about Titanfall 2 at the beginning of their show. And the big news for me is that this is going to be coming to PlayStation 4 for the first time. Titanfall 1 was an Xbox exclusive, so me and all the other PS4 gamers didn't get a chance to try it out the first time. But this time around, we are going to get Titanfall 2 for both consoles, which is great. They announced that, unlike the first game, there's going to be a full fledged single player campaign, instead of just having a kind of multiplayer or multiplayer based story. They're also adding, I believe, 8 new Titans to the game that were not previously in the series. And I think they announced that it's going to be coming out on October 28th of this year. So that is looking good. I like to rate all of the games and showcases at each of these conferences on like a hype level, and I'm currently hyped at like a 6 out of 10 on this. I didn't play the first one, so I don't really have that like overwhelming, you know, feeling to like jump back in and play the next one, because I don't really know what the game's all about. I've seen gameplay here and there. I've seen the trailers, of course, that have been released, but I'm really just going to be looking forward to trying this out when it comes out, and if I like it, maybe I'll pick it up. They also announced Madden NFL 17 as well as FIFA 17, and basically talked about how they're going to make tournaments and competitive gaming much easier for the players. They're going to be having different ways of hosting. So I think they had one form of tournament where you will host it amongst your friends. Another kind of tournament that will be hosted by EA through third-party platforms or sponsors, and then a third type of tournament, which will basically just be a worldwide kind of randomized tournament, I guess you could say. I didn't get a ton of information out of this, but they did show some gameplay from FIFA. Looks like they added some new gameplay features that would kind of make it a little bit more realistic. The same can be said for FIFA, and I believe they're hosting the Madden. I'm sorry, they said the same for Madden, and they're going to be hosting the grand finale of the Madden like championships, I believe, this week. I think that's either Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. I can write that in the description below after this video. So that is pretty interesting. The both games look really good graphically, and they're slowly updating the games every year to, I mean, be like pretty spot on to the real thing. I do not purchase these games every year. I usually maybe try and like rent or get my hands on the Madden games every once in a while, and the FIFA games to a slightly lesser extent. But I will be trying to play these games at some point. I'm definitely not going to buy them straight up, but I will possibly be maybe showing some gameplay of those later in the year. I don't know the exact release dates for those yet, but I would say overall, my hype level is kind of more like a 4 out of 10 for these. And that's just kind of because we see it every year, and I wasn't a huge fan in the first place. I mean, I do love football and I do love soccer, but honestly, they're not the biggest gaming prospects for me that as far as what I've been seeing. They also talked about they announced Mass Effect Andromeda, which is pretty hyped for most people. I did not play the second one, and I believe I played I played a little bit. I never owned any of the Mass Effect games. Is basically what I'm saying. And the story seems compelling, but I never personally got into them. I wasn't a big fan of what I did see and what I did play. But a lot of people seemed really excited about this, and that is good for those people. I'm sure some of you guys watching are Mass Effect fans or have at least played the games before. So that is something to look forward to. I believe the end of this year, but I do not have a release date on that at this time. Alright, so finally they talked about Battlefield 1. And this is really, the biggest reason that everybody went to this conference, and this is what they wanted to see. And I kind of agree. This Battlefield 1 is super hyped. I mean, my hype is maybe a little bit lesser than a lot of people, but I'm still kind of hyped, like 8 out of 10 on this one. The release date is currently October 21st, and I believe they announced it will be coming to Xbox about a week early, if I am not mistaken. They released, they live streamed a full 1 hour gameplay. They had 3 separate games over the course of an hour, and that featured some notable YouTube Let's Players and some famous celebrities playing the game, and I believe Conquest and maybe another game mode. But we got a really good gameplay showcase. We got to see a ton of different weapons and tanks and aircraft, and we got to see there's a giant blimp apparently that your team can take control of to kind of turn the course of battle. I don't fully understand how it all works. I am not an experienced Battlefield player. I've been more of a Call of Duty player in the past, but I am looking forward to this Battlefield game, and I'm going to try really hard to get into it when it does eventually come out at the end of this year. I would say it looks really good. They have incredibly interactive, environments in the maps from what I saw, and it looks like there's going to be even more in some of the other maps that we didn't get a chance to see. I know there's different classes, and you can choose to, man a tank or man an aircraft or just be an infantryman. So I'm sure we'll get to see more of that over the next couple months. And as I know more information, I will definitely be sharing it with you guys. And hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on this towards the end of the year, and maybe start trying to play some Battlefield. So that was the EA conference. Overall, it wasn't great. I know Battlefield was the big hype, and that was kind of the biggest, attraction. I rated the EA conference a solid 48% out of 100, of course, and that's just my opinion. The way I do that is I take the top 5 showcases of the event and rate them out of 10. I add the total up and convert it to a percent. So 48%, not great. I would say 40% of that was probably Battlefield, and the rest was maybe Titanfall. So that's what they had, and they shared it. So it isn't really the best conference, but the good news is, from what I've seen so far, the entire E3 conference has only gotten much better as we have moved on. Now we're going to move on to the Bethesda conference, which I thought was really good. So far, well, let's just jump in. So starting at the beginning, they did announce Quake Champions, which is a new game coming. I believe it's a multiplayer game. Possibly a campaign in there. Wasn't completely sure with the gameplay trailer that they showed. I did make note that it's PC only, which means that I can't play it, so my hype is at like a 4 out of 10 on this. But if you check out the trailer, which I will link below, it looks pretty good. I didn't get a chance to play Quake back in the day, and I'm not tremendously familiar with it. I'm more when it comes to shooters. I'm a much more recent shooter player. But it did look good, and I know a lot of people were excited when they announced it. So they also announced the Elder Scrolls Legends, which is a card game similar to what we know of as Hearthstone, but instead of Hearthstone, it's going to be completely Elder Scrolls oriented, with all of the cards being from the Elder Scrolls lore and stories. And they have it's not basic, it's not a reskin of Hearthstone, is the important note to make. They are basically making it's a similar card game. It's a card battle game like Hearthstone. But the important thing to make note of is that they have two lanes of attack, and the way that you earn, I guess, like mana points or health points, has changed a lot from what we might have been used to playing Hearthstone. So I am a huge fan of the Elder Scrolls series in general. I love everything, including Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls Online, and of course the Elder Scrolls Legends card game now. I don't know if there's a release date on this, but it should be coming out towards the end of the year. For this, I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10 on the hype scale. It's not a full-fledged game, but it is something that I will definitely be playing in my spare time. And I think it will probably be free, as Fallout Shelter, that Bethesda released last year, was free. And they've been really good about stuff like that. So hopefully that is the case. We also have the newly announced Prey, which I believe is a kind of a remake similar to that of the new Doom, where they're remaking the original Prey in present day graphics and animation engine, and really just making it look really good. I don't know a ton about this, but from the gameplay, from the cinematic trailer that I saw, I'm hyped about a 5 out of 10. I will say, as more information comes out about this, I am probably going to be more interested in it. But as for right now, don't know a ton about it, so I can't really form a huge opinion. We also, now this is where we started to get really, really good in my opinion. The rest of the show was nothing but just feels all over the place. I was so excited and happy and just dying to play everything they were showing. They started with Fallout 4 showcase, and they basically announced that there are going to be 3 new DLCs coming out, presumably all this year. The first of which will be coming out next week. So talk about short notice. That is amazing. I do still have to finish I have to start and finish Far Harbor, but we will get to that hopefully fairly soon. I will be uploading the Automatron DLCs probably this week or maybe next week. So basically they announced that the first DLC is called Contraptions. So basically you have the ability to create lifts, and you have the ability to create an item sorter machine and weapon racks and armor racks, and it adds a bunch of stuff to player settlements, player homes, and that is something that I am just I'm excited about, because in Skyrim, I love showcasing what I had for armors and weapons on dummies and on weapon racks, and just making it feel like it was my home or my settlement. This is definitely going to be a nice little addition to the game. It's not anything huge, but it is something that I am really looking forward to. The second DLC, which will be coming out presumably a few weeks or maybe a month or so after, I'm not really sure how they're doing it yet, is centered around vaults. It allows the player to create and manage their own vault settlements or player homes, and expands on some of the mods that we have been seeing that basically make vaults a normal thing to have a settlement in. And I am just very, very, very excited about this. The third one is considerably the largest DLC of the three, where we're going to be getting a full, basically, I'm assuming maybe like a Far Harbor sized or maybe a little bit smaller. We'll see. But we're going to be getting Nuka World. And for those of you who don't know what Nuka World is, it was a Nuka Cola inspired theme park that has a ton of rides, and it's a theme park. So it's centered around Nuka Cola and its partners in the lore. And basically, we're going to be getting to go in, and we're going to be getting some quests and some new items. I'm assuming they didn't show a ton of information, but if you want to learn more about Nuka World, you can, I'm sure, find some information online. Or if you play Fallout 3. Or maybe one of the earlier Fallout games, you will get to experience Nuka World as well. So that was great. I am hyped 9 out of 10 for that. I love Fallout 4 so far, and the DLCs have only added to that love. But moving on to my highlight of the night, we are officially going to be getting a remastered version of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Skyrim was and is the best game that I have ever played, and now that I am able to play it, or I will be able to play it on my PlayStation 4, which will be coming out October 28th, by the way. I am just so excited, and you guys can expect to see a lot of Skyrim stuff towards the end of the year, and probably all of next year as well, just because it is such a great game. I will be playing through the entire thing again, and on top of Skyrim being remastered, it is going to be released with all of the DLC from the original game intact, and they're going to be including mod capability, just like they announced for Fallout 4 recently. So this is basically like Skyrim Legendary Ultimate Awesome Edition. So I honestly can't. I don't even know like what to say about this. I was like, I mean, they kind of had a leaked rumor of this happening before, so I'm sure I would have like flipped my shit if I hadn't heard about it prior. But even though I kind of already had an idea of this happening, holy crap, I still lost my shit, and I was just so excited about it. This is easily the highlight of my night, but we are not done yet. This is definitely a 10 out of 10 on the hype scale, by the way. But why don't we move on a little bit? They also talked about the Elder Scrolls Online. And I know a lot of people have a bad opinion of this game. I do own it. I have played it. I'm maybe like level 20 something in the game. And I have to say, it is a very fun game to play, assuming that you have friends to play it with. It is not a game that you really want to play through by yourself. And in some cases, it's not really a game you can play through by yourself. So that is kind of a make or break moment. If you have friends that play the game, then I'm sure you will have a great time playing it, and I fully, highly recommend picking the game up. If you don't, then I can understand your kind of hesitance to not want to get it. I did pick the game up without having any friends that played it, and I enjoyed it, but my enjoyment definitely fizzled out after a few months when I realized none of my friends were going to be picking it up either. And sometimes that's just how it happens. So if you do have friends that play it, I highly recommend it. If you don't, I still recommend it, but just know that it's definitely meant to be a game played with friends. They announced the newest DLC expansion to the game, which is that of the Dark Brotherhood. If you've played Skyrim or Oblivion or any of the other Elder Scrolls games, you would know the Dark Brotherhood are basically the Assassin's Guild. They take out bad people that do bad things, and they do it very, very brutally. And it's an interesting faction. I definitely joined them in Skyrim, and I probably would join them again when I play Skyrim at the end of the year. And you know, the DLC looks pretty good. It's definitely very dark, darker than what we've seen in the actual Elder Scrolls series. Um, but you know, I guess it depends on what you like. Overall, I'm hyped 7 out of 10. But I'm also not completely sure if I'm going to pick up the DLC, just because I don't know if I have time to play the Elder Scrolls Online. And if I did, I'm not sure anyone would be willing to play it with me at the time. All right, so finally, to finish off this Bethesda conference, they talked about a game that was already announced, but gave us a ton more information on. That is Dishonored 2. Now, with the exception of any remasters, or expansions, or DLCs, or anything like that, so far, from what has been announced, Dishonored 2 is easily in the running for my game of the year. Now, I'm assuming there will be more games towards the end of the year that come out that will be very good. And so far this year, there have been a couple good ones as well. I have to say, I played a lot of The Division, but I was a little slightly bit disappointed in it compared to the hype that it had been, bring on to people the year before. So I did play Dishonored 1. I also replayed the Definitive Edition. I've played on PS3 and PS4. I've played through it stealthily. I've played through it where you kill everyone. I've enjoyed the game, the first game, tremendously, and I definitely highly recommend playing that. Although it is not completely needed in order to get into Dishonored 2. So either way, I do recommend playing both 1 and 2, or just one of them, if you can. Dishonored 2 comes out November 11th, which is right around my birthday, and that is perfect. They basically showcased a little bit of Corvo, who was the main character in the first game's powers, and he basically has the same powers of the first game, but they are very well upgraded, and I believe he has maybe a couple new ones, or maybe they're just upgrades that are so new they look like new powers. I don't know. My absolute favorite power, which again, all of these links will be in the description down below if you want to see this. Basically, he has some kind of a device. I don't know what it's called, but I'm incredibly intrigued. That allows him to look through like a piece of glass, right? And when you look through the glass, you're looking back or forward in time to the exact same setting you're in. So you can be looking into a room, and if you hold the glass up halfway in your vision of like the doorway, half of your vision will be from 50 years ago, and the other half of your vision will be from the present day. Now, the really cool part is that you can switch between what time period you're physically in, and this way you can actually stealthily kill enemies in the present day by going back in time, standing right behind them, looking at them through the glass, and then going forward in time, basically appearing right behind them and killing them. And they showcased a couple stealthy kills with this. I was just absolutely like my brain was just melting. I was freaking out. It was amazing. They also showcased some of Emily's powers. She can do like a shadow form. She has a power called Domino, where she can enemies together, whether it be magically or through their souls or something. And say you stab person A in the face, the other two people, because they're connected through this power, also get dealt that blow. So they don't physically get stabbed through the face, but they feel it and they die from it as well. So it's a way to take out multiple enemies at once. And she has a bunch of different abilities. She has kind of like a blink teleport ability similar to Corvo. And they didn't showcase everything, obviously, but I am super excited about this. You can choose to play between Corvo or Emily, and I believe you make that choice at the beginning of the game in Chapter 1. and then the other character will probably show up here and there throughout the story, but you will be playing as that character for the rest of the game. Um, it is also really cool because they're meant for kind of different styles of play. So if you want to be way stealthy, you're probably going to pick Emily. If you want to be really aggressive, you're probably going to want to pick Corvo. But you can still play stealthily as Corvo and aggressive as Emily, which I think is great. So basically, I'm hyped of this at this game. 9 out of 10. It looks great, and I have to say overall, the Bethesda conference gets an 84% from me, which is ironically the reciprocal of what I gave the EA conference, 48. But it definitely has. Bethesda is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with at E3 for the next couple of years. My assumption here, and I was hoping all night they were going to announce it, but they didn't, which is fine. But I was hoping they would announce the Elder Scrolls 6, because that is really the biggest game that I've been looking forward to since the end of 2011 when Skyrim came out. And my assumption, after doing the math and trying to figure out like how many years it takes for these games to be released, is that they will probably most likely announce the Elder Scrolls 6 next year at E3, and then have it be released at the end of 2018. Which means we still got to wait over 2 more years for the next Elder Scrolls. That is my assumption. That is my kind of estimated or educated guess. But it kind of makes sense. If you take the time between release dates from the Fallout games and the time between the release dates of the Fallout and the Elder Scrolls games, it just makes sense. 2018, would be the year the Elder Scrolls games the next Elder Scrolls comes out. The assumption is that they are definitely working on it currently. That is not confirmed by anyone, but you would have to think they do have some kind of work established already. At least I would hope. And it's going to be something to look forward to. I know we have they showed some more Doom gameplay, so they've been working on Doom, and they announced Quake, they announced Prey. We got more Fallout 4 DLC. So far, this is 6. This is going to be 6 announced Fallout 4 DLCs. That's awesome. There's a new update to the Fallout Shelter game as well that they talked about, and the Skyrim remaster is basically there for all the people like me that have been dying for a new Elder Scrolls. So at least we'll be able to get to play Skyrim again. I'm super excited about it, and it's one of those things where. We just gotta wait. There's gonna be a ton of games to play. There's always an array of games to play throughout the year. It happens that there's a huge influx usually around mid-October to, the end of November. Those 2 months are usually huge for gaming, and for the Christmas season, they then announce. A bunch of sales and bundles and packs and, what say you? We will be talking about a ton of new stuff in the next couple days. Today, Monday, is the Microsoft conference, the Ubisoft conference, and the Sony conference. And those are usually even bigger than the Bethesda and EA conferences were. So that may or may not be broken up into 2 videos, or I might just do one long video. We will see. So far, I have watched the Microsoft conference, and they did have a ton of stuff to go over, so that will be interesting. I currently only play PS4, so when we get to the end of the day tonight, we will be talking about what happened at the Microsoft conference, at the Ubisoft conference, and at the Sony conference. And then I believe if we check really quick, let's see what the schedule is. Because I know E3 is basically it goes all week, but as far as the schedule goes for live streams and people who aren't physically there, it's a little bit different. So looks like yeah. So Monday the 13th we have Microsoft, Ubisoft, and Sony, and then it looks like Tuesday is gonna just be Nintendo. So they will be having a ton of showcases and booth and like I guess presentations all week physically there. But for us at home, we're going to be focusing on mostly that of the live stream conferences, and we'll be covering that tomorrow as well as Wednesday. If you guys watch my channel regularly, I will be uploading a Raw Talk hopefully tomorrow, but with E3 I may delay it a little bit. We are going to talk about the NXT TakeOver that took place last week as well as Monday Night Raw. And then we're going to be doing a quick preview of Money in the Bank, which is this coming weekend. And that is looking really good for the WWE. I am also hopefully going to be doing another Supercard video or two this week. Just not a lot of eventful stuff. We do have a team event, but we'll talk about that as well. My Uncharted playthrough is officially done. If you want to check that out, I've uploaded the final video today as well, and we're going to be playing some other games. So we'll look forward to some Fallout 4 gameplay, specifically the DLCs. I may or may not be playing The Witcher 3 for you guys. I'm definitely going to be playing it for myself. I don't know how much of that I will be uploading because it's a really, really big game. But in the meantime, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm going to leave this gameplay on till the end of this match if you feel like sticking around to see who wins this fight. But otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and remember, everything is linked in the description below. I will see you guys real soon. And it looks like the winner is Misha Tate. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.